Whenever I think of mindset, I always think of this quote that says, "Your life is only as good as your mindset." As you could probably tell from the title, today's topic is developing a positive mindset and letting go of negative thoughts. So I personally believe that mindset is everything. And it really plays a huge role in your overall happiness and the success that you're going to have in your life. So I used to be a very negative person. I used to be quite the pessimist, and I can tell you from experience that my life has definitely changed for the better since I started thinking more positively. A strong mind for me has been really important to get out of negative mental states like with anxiety and with depression, and instead get me to a place where I'm a lot happier, a lot more at peace, and a lot more successful in my life as well. So positive thinking, the idea behind it is that if you think more positively, if you just have more positive thoughts, that you will have more positive results in your life, in all aspects of your life, and overall you'll just be happier. So the idea isn't to be positive all the time, okay? That's just not realistic. It's absolutely normal to have your off days and the days that it's really just a bad day and your thoughts are negative, right? So someone with a positive mindset will understand that, and they'll know that even on difficult days, even when things aren't going right the whole day, that better days are coming and that bad times don't last. And when you think like that, I think it's a lot easier just to be happier, and it's a lot easier just to cope with difficult times. So negative thinkers tend to consistently focus on everything that's going wrong in their life. That's all they focus on, and they tend to also think about the times that have made them sad or angry, and they'll complain about that, they'll share that with their friends. And the thing is that those events are usually in the past and they are not within that person's control anyway. So again, negative thinkers tend to complain a lot, and they always tend to think of the people that are to blame for their problems. So as you can imagine, these people tend to be very unhappy with their lives, and they tend to tell everyone about it. And for a lot of people, myself included, negative people are just very difficult to be around. They're very draining on energy. So I'm definitely not perfect, and sometimes I have negative thoughts too. I have bad days. But the thing is, you have to be able to recognize it and just stop the negative thought right there so that you don't end up making it into a pattern of negative thinking. One of the biggest lessons that I've learned is actually that you are the master of your mind and your life, okay? You have 100% control over how you think. And I think often we forget this because we allow a lot of external things to get to us. So whether that's worrying about things or stressing out about work, about your colleagues, about friends and family, stressing about money, or even just random people on social media, we tend to focus on what they're doing and if what they're doing is right or what they're doing wrong or why we don't like them. So that's just another way that negative thinking takes over. We give a lot of these things power over us. We really allow these things to hijack our mindset and basically just control the way we think and we feel. So negative emotions really do weigh us down. I don't know anyone that has a negative mindset that is energized and happy at the same time. And the thing is, when you're constantly experiencing negative emotions like guilt or resentment or anger or sadness or jealousy or comparison or worry, these thoughts are taking up time, energy, and mental space that could otherwise be filled with more joy, creativity, expression, fun, just a whole lot of other positive things that you could be experiencing, things that make you happy, right? So this is where learning to cultivate a positive mindset can really improve your life. So when something knocks you down throughout the day, you need to learn how to process that and respond to it in a smarter way. Maybe you're scared to do something because you're worried that you might not do it right, or people will judge you, or it won't turn out well. The thing is, if you do fail at something, it's like, okay, maybe you made a mistake or it just didn't go to plan, but you probably learned so much from that failure. I personally learned so so much more from the pain, the suffering, the challenges, the difficulties, the failures than I ever did from things going right in my life. When you fail at something, just learn to pick yourself back up and try again, because when you do try again, you'll be trying from a position of experience and knowledge that you've learned from all of your failures. So try to see every challenge in your life as an opportunity to learn something and to grow. Look at your problems and try to figure out solutions to them instead of complaining about them and thinking that things just won't work out and it's going to be too difficult. At the end of the day, everything that happens in your life is actually going to teach you something, whether you know it at that point in time or not. And eventually, by incorporating all that you've learned through those failures, you will eventually succeed if you keep trying. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is limiting beliefs and negative self-talk. So limiting beliefs are exactly that, right? They are beliefs that we have either about ourselves or about the world based on our perspective. So these beliefs end up limiting us and our abilities. So an example would be, I'm too young to start a business. So if you genuinely believe that, then you probably won't even end up trying to start the business because you genuinely don't believe that you can do it. You believe that you're too young. So in this scenario, it's very easy to see that that belief is limiting you and it's holding you back from reaching your potential. So negative self-talk, again, very straightforward. It's you talking to yourself in a negative way. So a lot of the times we do this unconsciously, right? But negative self-talk tends to be an extension of a limiting belief. So when something happens that makes you feel like you're not good enough or that you can't do something, you will sit with that belief and then you will probably blame yourself for it. Tell yourself that, oh, you're too stupid to do this, or you're not good enough to do that, or whatever it is. So the thing is, right, often we are functioning on default mode, right? So Mel Robbins, she's an excellent motivational speaker. She discussed this, okay? So default mode is basically like your mind being on autopilot, right? So in a lot of situations, your autopilot is really helpful. It gets you through the day, doing things that you would do that don't require a lot of thought, right? So flushing the toilet, locking the car, switching off the hair straightener. A lot of the times we'll lock the car and we won't remember if we actually locked the car because we did that on autopilot, right? We'll put off the straightener, but then we'll wonder if we actually put the straightener off, and then we'll like sit and worry. It's because we did that in autopilot. At the same time, your negative thoughts and your negative beliefs are all functioning unconsciously in your default mode. So you will act in your day-to-day life and you will respond to things a lot of the time from that default mode. So negative thinking is a lot like our default mode, right? It's just an automatic pattern. It's the way you think. A lot of the time when people are negative thinkers, it's a habit of negative thinking, right? So the idea is that we need to become very aware and very conscious of what we are thinking, right? So at first, this is very exhausting to sit and analyze your thoughts, but I think you know that you're a negative person and you know if you're a positive person. If you're a narcissist, you might not be able to admit that you're a negative person. So I think it's really important that we are more present and we are a lot more aware of our mindset. If you want to develop a positive mindset and you currently have a negative mindset, then what you need to do, and what I did to get out of my negative thinking, is to really change the way you think. So when you have a negative thought come up, you need to recognize it as a negative thought, and you'll notice because of how you feel, right? Because negative thoughts tend to make us feel something. We tend to feel negative. So when you have a negative thought and you feel that feeling of feeling negative or feeling sad, angry, whatever it is, a negative emotion, when you feel that, try to think about, okay, so what is this thought? This is a negative thought. So you have to catch the negative thought while it's there. You need to just redirect that to a different positive thought. So try to see it as you just relearning something. So like you write with your right hand, you can learn to write with your left hand. So it's the same thing with your mind. If you're used to thinking a lot of negative thoughts, all you have to do is teach yourself how to think in a more positive way and to develop that habit. So you have a choice, right? Either you will evolve this pattern of thinking or you will continue to repeat it. And that's really what it comes down to. So you can change your default mode, right? And you really just have to learn to develop the skill of choosing what you think about. And like I said, it is going to be a bit annoying at first to sit and now think about everything that you're thinking about. You're going to have to analyze your thoughts. You're going to have to analyze your words, everything, because that is all currently in your pattern. And then really quickly you'll just get into the habit of redirecting your thought to a positive thought. So remember, if you're currently a negative thinker, it really is okay. You can change it. It's just a little bit of a process to start getting into a different habit. So think about what your limiting beliefs are. Okay, so what are the beliefs that you have about yourself or about the world that are holding you back? And think about what it costs to maintain that belief. I'm scared to fail. I don't have enough money. I'm too young. I'm not good enough. Nobody likes me. You're a loser. You can't get in shape. You'll never find a girlfriend or a boyfriend. You can't have good things. These are all subconscious things that you end up telling yourself without even really realizing it. So that then becomes your default mode, and that becomes what you think about on a regular basis. And overall, over time, you're going to be a very sad, negative person. And either someone taught you how to think this way, or you've had so many bad experiences in your life that have made you immediately assume that everything's going to go wrong in your life and that things just won't work out. So you'll automatically always predict that things are going to go wrong for you. And sometimes things will go wrong. Sometimes life happens and things don't go as you plan or as you wanted them to go. But we can't allow those things to affect us so much. When you're constantly expecting bad things to happen, that makes you develop a negative thinking pattern where you then start to believe that good things can't happen for you. Becoming aware of those thoughts will help you to see that all of these thoughts have been programmed in a certain way and you can change it. And if you don't change it, what is the consequence of that? You probably won't start that business, or you won't even set those goals that you know you actually want to achieve. When you have those moments when you're thinking those default negative thoughts, you need to stop it immediately and change it immediately. So catch the negative default thought and redirect it to a positive thought instead. And I think one of the biggest things that I've actually learned just about life and about positive thinking and a positive mindset is learning to focus on the things that you do want instead of focusing on the things that you don't want, right? Choosing to focus on the positive things in your life, the things that are going well, instead of dwelling on the things that aren't going well and the things that are making you feel upset. So we need to, again, focus on our goals and how we can achieve them instead of focusing on why they won't go right or what we don't have to make those goals happen. So sometimes I think when we, ready to start a new opportunity, that feeling of doubt always creeps in and it makes us wonder, what if this doesn't work out? What if someone judges me? What if they laugh at me? What if everything just goes wrong? What if it doesn't work out? So those things tend to naturally creep up in our minds. So when you are having those experiences, you need to direct your thoughts to something different. You have to choose to think about the things that you do have, the things that are going right in your life, all your blessings. We focus on the fact that we don't have what we want, or we don't have everything that will make us happy. You have to just change that pattern in your mind, and if you can change the pattern of your thinking, you can change your whole life. Just remember that how you think is a choice, so you can change those patterns, you can evolve them, and you can basically just become unstuck in your life. So that is it for today's video, guys. I hope this helped you, and please remember to share it with someone who maybe needs a little help with changing their mindset. Please remember to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.